Today is the day one of the Fed meeting kicking off right now. And Steve Liesman joins us with the results of the latest CNBC Fed Survey. Steve.
Yeah, and Andrew, what we find is that there's pretty good certainty about what's going to happen today and tomorrow. But after that is where opinions really diverge about the outlook for monetary policy. Take a look at our Fed expectations chart. This is the results of our survey of 43 strategists, economists, and fund managers. 79% expect a cut to be announced tomorrow. It's pretty good agreement. We've actually been at 100 a lot of times, but not this one, 79%. The next cut, though, the average date, February 2020, and only 37% expect a December cut, which means that more than 50% are building in a pause for the next meeting. And then the median funds rate going through 2020, the median is 1.4%. That means that they're expecting one more cut and a little bit over the course of the next, say, 13 or 14 months. Let's move on and let's get the divisions over what they think the Fed really should do. And 44% think the Fed should hold. Add the two together, and you get 54% think the Fed should cut. So there's a good amount of kind of disagreement over what ought to happen here. Okay, now let's look further down the road here. 40% think the Fed won't cut again after this rate cut in October. Right. 60% say they will. And then we divided that again. 30% see one more cut, and 30% see more than once, or the Fed cutting more than once. And then one other thing is, why is the Fed cutting? Well, 31% say it's a week. These all add up to 100. They're supposed to anyway. Weak economy, low inflation, and the trade war are the three big reasons. The yield curve, market pressure. And this group does not believe that the Fed and Powell are responding to presidential pressure. Just 3% say that's the reason for the cut. And we have all this, guys, online, all the results, including grading the current Democratic and Republican candidates for president.
Do you want to give us a little hint
a pox
on that front?
Generally a pox on everyone's house, but much more of a pox on the Democratic House. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 5 is neutral, 10 is very positive. President Trump gets a 5.5.
Okay.
The next closest Democrat, 4.7, Joe Biden.
Okay. Then?
Well, I don't have them all in front of me, but I do know that Sanders is a 2.
Okay.
And Warren's a 2.5.
2.5.
Which is believed to be very negative.
Okay.
Did you? I guess Harwood sat down with Bernie. Did you see that?
It did. Yeah. I did. It has run yet?
Anybody who has been successful and generated any prosperity whatsoever is an enemy. Is one of Bernie's enemies, and he's very proud of that. I mean, it was to me, it was surreal just watching it. It was like, wow, you're like a. I don't know. That's the kind of guy that honeymoons in Moscow. I mean, no offense. No, you went over there on business, right? You went over there.
Became a capitalist, as I often say, because
you did.
He didn't.
He didn't.
But here's the thing. It's amazing that, in my opinion, the Democratic Party completely cedes the issue of economic growth to the Republicans. They don't even use the phrase economic growth. They don't generally use the phrase private sector.
No, it's become a complete anti-private sector.
And I don't get that, because it's not like there are a bunch of programs that, in my opinion, Joe, that are socialism that would be really good for capitalism. Maternity leave and things like that.
Where's Mayor Pete on all those?
I think he's thought to be more centrist, but
no, I know. Although he's not that centrist.
I have a rule: the number of candidates has to be under double digits for me to really dive into their economic proposals.
Well, that's
how can you do 20?
You're gonna have to wait a while.
You just can't do it.
You're gonna have to wait.
But by the way, thanks for we have Robert Frank, who looks at I should tell you, 80% hate the wealth tax. Right. For a whole bunch of reasons.
One of Robert's houses just got sold. Did you see out in L.A.? One of the ones that he's talked about before.
Is he get a commission on that?
The house that he's
no, it wasn't one of his. It was a $250 million. Did you see? It was a $250 million house sold for $90.
Yep.
I mean, like a steal.
Well, that's
like the 250
numbers
was
are made up just like
real
IPO numbers are made up. Right.
Exactly.